Right, it is sunrise o'clock at the end of a very interesting road. I tried to come down here the other week and it was not possible, and now I've got the other side of this hill. I see exactly why not possible. This is Ware Creek Road, and for those of you that have never been here, let me tell you, that is a very interesting road to drive down. It has dried out. When I came down here the other week, it was actually very snowy, so there was no way in a million years I'd have got over the top of there. So this is the parking lot. There is a trail that goes off through here. If you look through here, we've got Ware Creek and Link Trail and that down through there, which is on my to-do list for the next bit. But today's object of the exercise is Trail 57. I'm heading round to Trail 57. There's an update coming to the All Smoke trailhead. So, and the start for that, so I'm going around there to have a look, see how possible that is. I see there's a new gate here. They did a bunch of logging and that down through here the other week, and new gates. Look at that. Yes, there was a ramshackled old gate there for the longest time. This actually used to be a road all the way through, but having just driven down that first part of the road, I can tell you now, I am absolutely convinced I know why they closed this. Even on a dry road, that's a somewhat interesting drive. So to get to where I'm going, Trail 57, this down the bottom here, this is Ware Creek. Now if you look in the Kananaskis guide, it says you have to cross this creek 8 times, and you don't actually. There's ways around, but you can come back across the bridge. And there's a big meadow off to the left hand side, and that is the way I'm going to go. Now down in here, be aware this is all cattle country, and there are a lot of fences and all that kind of stuff. So however you find the fences, make sure you leave them that way. The ranchers and that would get really upset. So if you find a gate closed, leave it closed. If you find it open, leave it open. Basically, just enjoy the walk. And where we're going to head is across there. There's like a gateway in the middle. So, it's a very well trodden trail. This is actually a very well used trail. It's just the road in here is interesting, to say the least. If you've never done that road, you really should. But don't do it fast. Right, so to get to where I'm going, I've got to cut across this meadow. There's a gateway in front of me there, and then I'm going to cut across that and up to the far end. I'll do some more when I get there. Right, so I've just come through that gate. There is actually a very nice sign on the gate. It says keep closed at all times. So this is obviously a end of line boundary. So like I say, please make sure you follow all those signs. What a glorious place. Look at this. Oh, I will have some more of this. This is a trail that doesn't get used as much as it should. I'm not looking at that grey sky over there very favourably, because if that road was wet, it's actually fairly muddy. I don't know if you're familiar with this area. The other end of that road is what's called Gorge Creek. That end of that road is much better. This end of the road up here, yeah, that's a little different. It's very doable. I mean, I've just come up there in a little car, so I mean, if you've got anything that's got four-wheel drive in it, you'll have no trouble whatsoever. However, in a little car, it's an interesting drive. Just take it slow. Lots of corners. Right, so I need to head up to the far end of this meadow, and then I know I'm going to drop down. The reason for this trip today is an exploratory trip. Like I say, the beginning of All Smoke, I believe, is being rerouted. Gillian Daffron sent me the map of the proposed new start, if you like. Oh, look at these flowers. No idea what these are, but there's lots of them. That's what I like about this time of year. Look at it. Everything's green. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Love it. Yeah. So yeah, like I say, she sent me the start, and I can see there's a logging block up there, and the new trail is going to head up the side of that, up onto the old cut line, and then follow the ridge all the way up to Allsmoke. My task today is not the Allsmoke section as such, although I will be checking it. My task today is to see how bad 57 is, because I've seen a couple of people that have done this trail. There's very few videos on this trail at all. Mark did one, and there was another guy who tried to do it on a bike. Best of luck doing this on a bike. Yeah, I ain't going to work out so well. So somewhere up the end of here, it disappears into the forest. Oh, we've got a pile of bones over there. Oh, indicator on, turn left. Looks like we've got a pile of bones. Or something very similar. Yes, I wouldn't say this is a remote area, but there's remains of a dead something there. Not sure what it is, but it was large and it is now deceased. It's not feeling very well. Yeah, so on up this end. Now, I don't have my usual hiking boots on today. I've gone back to a time in the past. I have my welly boots on, and there was a time, anybody that knows me, that you would never ever see me out about without my boots on. Go back to my farming days. Always I lived in welly boots. I actually found a pair the other day that I like, and I've put them on for this particular trip today because the reports that I got were it's quite wet and muddy up in here, so hence the welly boots. So get over here. Once I get to the other side of this bank, I'll show you some bits and pieces here. Oh, here we go. First little water crossing. I think in summer you'd find that there's absolutely nothing here whatsoever, and the advantage of welly boots, of course, see, you don't have to worry about getting across creeks and stuff. As long as the water's not more than about 14-15 inches deep, you're good. That's why I like welly boots. Right, off on the left here, that mountain there on the left, that is Gleason's Hill, I believe it's called, and 57 basically goes all the way around that. So this is kind of like a loop trail, and as far as I know, I am heading up to the far end of this meadow over there. On the right hand side you can see the cut block. I'm just stopping to look because I'm walking into a meadow that doesn't have a lot of people in it. So just make sure there's nothing big, black and fuzzy moving around in here. And on the right hand side, see if I can point over that side and off up the ridge, that's where Allsmoke Mountain goes off up that way. This side over here, this hill over here, this is Gleason's Hill. So as I say, 57 goes all the way around it. This was the original road before the main road was built, but this was the original road, believe it or not. Right, I'll do some more in a bit. Right, when you get to the far side of the meadow here, just going to give you a 360. That's the way I've just come. It's got some good heat in that sun. I think we're going to dry out a lot of this. You'll come to a cut block, a couple of downed trees here. Trail, I believe, that Gillian's looking at doing goes up through over that way. I believe that's the trail they're looking at. Now, what do we got going on here? We have an impromptu campsite by the look of it. Let's have a look. What do we have here? Oh, this campsite's even got an outhouse. I kid you not. Oh, there's a first. That's something you don't see very often. So we have, I suspect this is ranchers. So we have good site here, and over here, I kid you not, we have an improvised outhouse. Look at that. That is, I'm not even going to open that because I don't even want to know what's in there. That is absolutely priceless. That made me laugh. That's brilliant. Yes, so people obviously use this. I suspect the ranchers do. If I'm looking over here, this all looks like reasonably fresh cut wood here. Yeah, that looks like that was all cut fairly recently. Yeah. Yes. Right, I need to do a bit of a scout around here because I need to find the beginning of the trail. Let's see what I can find. This is looking back from where I've just come. When you get to what I will now refer to as outhouse campsite, the one on the corner, on the right hand side, just as you come up there, you'll see a bit of a cut block. So you walk up the side of the cut block, literally 100 meters, whatever, not even. It is a little wet in places, typical cows, they do chew it up a touch. And you will see this white spray lake sign, and that down through there, just to the left of the spray lake sign, is the original trail. This is trail 57 down through there. So that's the way I'm going to go. See what I can do. The new trail they're looking at is up along that side. So I'm going to scout this one out today, see how bad this is, because they say it's wet, and at the moment it is wet, hence the welly boots. But that's only this piece, so I'm not sure how wet it's going to be as I go along. But this is the trail. That is trail 57, straight down through there. So I'm going to go that way, do some more later. Right, first few obstacles, let's get those cleared out of there, and then I can move on my way. Right, just make sure I left nothing behind. So come in that way, come down this gap here. This was the old road or trail. I've dropped these in here, no point cutting them right up. It is a little wet in here. As you can see, the cows have made a mess in here. It's the only trouble with cows. It's a double-edged sword, because it stores water in the forest, and which is good, but it makes a bit of a prick in places just to walk through. So the logs that I've cut, if I can, I lay them. I'm going to walk on these, if I can squash them into the mud here a bit. Not too bad. Anything that I tend to cut, if I can, if there's bits like that, I'll lay them for people to walk across. Like I say, this is very much wet season, so this will dry out over time, so that's good. Right, on I go, going that way. Well, I have to say, that section is a little wet along there, but this is a wet season. There's a very well trodden trail along there. Most of it is dry, but there is some water, and bear in mind this is wet season. So this is the corner, I believe, that follows off around and down the hill. So I believe I have to go that way, because in the old manual there it says around the corner and descend the hill, I believe it says, which is right there. Now the new trail, I believe they want to do is follow that cut block up through there. Basically we're just following the cut block through the trees, and I can tell you now, although this pathway through here has a little bit of water on it, compared to out there, that is actually pretty wet out there, because I think that's where most of the cows go. So another customer in front of me here, just to chop the end off, and I will continue, as the book says, around the corner and descend the hill. Right, let's get this one out of the way. That is the way I've just come. Let's clear the end off that one. If you were going to all smoke, you could kind of work your way off up the side of that cut block, which I believe is the new plan. I will scout that out another day. Today is this way. Yeah, see, up through there, follow that cut block around, and basically just skirts around the old cut block up the hill, and there's a cut line at the top of that hill that runs across, kind of like east-westy kind of direction, and that's kind of where it intersects. So I believe the plan is to put a trail through up there somewhere. But and there's all kinds of cattle trails through there. I mean, if you were going up all smoke, you could find your way through that lot without too much trouble whatsoever. But the original trail says around the corner and descend the hill. So I'm gonna round the corner and descend the hill. Now this is where I fully expect to find a complete and utter cluster mess down in here, and see what we can find. I suspect all kinds of debris. Yeah, I see a creek crossing already. Yeah, let's have these little ones out of here. This is a lot more rocky down in here. Now I'm not convinced that this is correct, so I'm not going to remove those just yet. Let me just make sure. I do have some cut marks across here. What I'm looking for is an old cut line through the trees. Oh, now hang on, I think I might have found it. Yes, down through there is where the original trail went, down through that lot. So what I'm going to do is, that lot looks pretty wet in there. Now one of the problems with down in here is we've got so much deadfall. I'm not convinced that it's actually worth clearing out the old path. As you can see, the old trail goes down through the trees there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scout along the top of that bank over there and see whether that's a better route. Where I'm heading for is just down this valley. There's a big grassy opening. Now this down through here was the road, and as you can see it's pretty wet down in here. I can see up through the trees up through there, nothing but water. So I'm going to head along that bank up there. I'm not going to clear these ones out of here. This is why it's always good to scout. Although this is the trail, this is trail 57. The Daffrins are rerouting it. So it is going to go up along the top of there. So I'll head back up this little bit of hill. And I did see through the trees a reasonably trodden trail up through here somewhere. Where did I see that? Yes, so you come around the corner, there's one big deadfall across the trail, and in the manual it says, I will point in the right direction here in a second. Oh yes, see up through here, somebody's been up through there, look. So might be worth checking that out. In the manual it says around the corner, descend a hill, and then it becomes straight for a while. Well, the bit that's straight is basically a straight river now. So I am going to scout along the top of this bank. There's a gap over there. People or animals have been through that. So I'm just going to scout around here, see what I can find. Back in a bit. So, update. So from the corner where it says go around the corner and descend the hill, and then on the straight, you are actually better off coming. There's so much deadfall down in there, and fresh deadfall too. It's everywhere. So you're actually better off following. There's a cup block, and there's a very well trodden cattle trail up through here. And I did see a set of footprints, people prints. So I'm not the only person that thinks that this is a good idea. So I think this is probably the best way, and it's certainly drier than down the bottom. I did look to see if there was a way of coming up through the wood, but look at it, it's all just deadfall. Million things to cut out of there, but not doing that. So I will come this way, follow this nice cattle trail up, because it's going exactly the right direction that I need to go, and then find the grassy bit and then cut back down through the grassy bit. I think this will be the better way to go. So let me just show you where I've come from. I've just come along here. Basically all I'm doing is following this cut block, and I can tell you now, although there's a little bit of deadfall down in here, it is actually way easier to walk along the edge of the cut block where the forest is, all the way along here, and just basically follow it along. I think this is actually going to be the easiest route, believe it or not. And it's certainly a lot drier than down in the bottom. That hill the other side of there is Gleason's Hill. I may explore that on the way back, but so far I'm heading that way. This is actually the easiest way to walk through here. It's all bushwhack, but there's actually the old orange tape in the trees here from when they logged it. That's the edge markers for logging. So it's actually fairly easy walking through here. It's actually easy. Just a few bits you got to step over, and that's about it. But certainly easier than walking through the bottom of that valley. I can still hear the creek, so that's good. As long as the creek's on your left hand side and you're close to it, you're going in the right direction. Right, I'm going to head up that way. Right, so I've just come that way through the bottom of the cut block. I've reached a corner. There's a double corner here, and the forest doesn't look too bad that way. So I'm going to head that way. Oh, look what I found. Garbage. Somebody was thirsty, but look at it. So I'm going to cut down through here, because I know what I'm looking for is between that mountain over there and this one on this side. So I know I need to go that way, and this doesn't look too bad. I can still hear the creek, so I'm just going to wander down through this lot. If you're looking for well-groomed trails that, you know, you could ride a bike down easy, this is not your trail. But this is a great exploring trail, I must admit. If you're really into wandering around just exploring old stuff, then yeah, this is a good place to be. This is brilliant. I love it up in here. This is really nice. But I'm going to remove this garbage because it doesn't belong here, and I will continue on my way that way somewhere. I've found myself in the bottom of the valley. I just come down that, which is very steep. So if you follow the cut line, you actually come along. That's the only steep bit. This clearly looks like an old riverbed. Let's wander up here, see if I can see any signs of life. Yeah, there are many little side creeks this time of the year. Now the big creek I happen to know is down that way, but I can also see a lot of deadfall over there. So, like I say, if you like exploring, this is this is definitely a place to come. Now I don't know whether this doesn't look big enough for Ware Creek. This just looks like one of the little side things. As you can see in the floods, it all washed out here pretty good. But there's that mountain over there. So I will follow this up and around. This may actually be Ware Creek. I'm not sure. If it is, it's very small. It's smaller than I anticipated. So I'm not convinced it is. Like I say, there are many side creeks up through here, especially this time of the year. And this looks way too small to be the creek that I'm looking for. So I think I will find my way across the other side of here and head down that way a little bit, I think, because this just does not look right. And the sun is over there. I do have my compass with me, but I'm trying not to use it. Yeah, that's all the fun of doing stuff like this. Figure out where the hell you are. Now, if I'm right, there should be a bigger creek here. This creek is not big enough. I'm going to go and find me a bigger creek. If you want to find a bigger creek, head downstream. So somewhere in the bottom here, this looks very open. This looks way too open to be just, you know, as it was made. And the bank on that side is definitely cut. So I think the old Trail 57 comes through here somewhere. I know it has to, because I'm in the bottom of the valley and this is where the road came. So let's do an explore. Problem is there's so much deadfall. Down through those trees over there I see a much bigger creek. Right, so me being me, I'm going to head down over this way, if I can get over this bloody tree. Yes, so that is a little side creek, and I think I know exactly which one it is too. Yeah. So let's see if we can get across there. One good thing about cows will make a route through, like it or not. Their hoofs make a right bloody mess. Oh, that's quite nice, that. Yeah. Their hoofs make a right mess. I can tell you now. Look at this. This is why I haven't cleared much deadfall down in here. Look at it. I'm trying to find my way back across to the old trail, which means I have to hop across all of this lot and over that way somewhere. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this camera and everything away until I've got over these 50 million trees, and then I'll get back to you. There we go. That's better. That's the size of the creek I was looking for. I knew that other wasn't right. That's this little side creek. In which case I know exactly where I am. This corner, this turn off here, this is the old turn off to 58. This would have been 58A. Right, so let me just take you up here a little bit. 58A, that creek that I was going to cross, the small one, which is just over through that mess over there, actually goes up here, and it makes perfect sense now. This is 58A. That steep hill that I came down just now, if you follow that up the side, now I can see exactly why Julian Daffron and Tony said that's probably going to be their preferred route. I can see exactly why now. On the way back I may go that way. This is the old 58A. If you're trying to follow this on the guide, there is a small creek off on the side there. There's a little bit of this deadfall crap all the way through there. That steep hill that I came down in just now on the video, you can go up the side of there. On the, I believe the original trail goes up the left hand side of that creek through there, but there's a fair amount of deadfall in there. So in all honesty, your best bet is to stay in that cut block, follow it all along. If you're coming from Ware Creek parking lot, follow that cut block all the way along, all the way up around the corner, head up the hill until you meet the cut across cut block marker there, the what do they call it, cut line. When you meet that cut line, basically turn left on there. I'm going to go back up that way in a minute. I'm just going to have a look down through here and see how bad it is. But this is the old 58A turnoff. Yes, I know exactly where I am now. If you like exploring, I mean, it is absolutely fantastic. This is a fantastic area if you really like exploring, which I do. I don't like the tourist trails. I don't like the, what I call the Lululemon bloody brigade. They can bugger off. I much prefer this. Now, the last video that I saw of somebody crossing this creek, it was a little tiny rock hop, and they went across there. But it is not a little tiny rock hop today. So, yeah. So this creek here is the one that runs up that side. So let's just see how deep this is. Oh, okay, 6 inches. This is the advantage of welly boots. See, I don't have to worry about crossing and all that kind of crap. And I can tell you now, I spent most of my younger life living in Wellington boots. So this, I love it. Absolutely love it. A bit rocky along here, by the way. Now, in the guide, it says to stay this side a little bit, and there's a crossing up here somewhere. So I'm back on trail 57, despite my little wander off to the side there. This is trail 57, believe it or not. As a trail for, yeah, I think that's probably it here. That, yeah, as a trail for hiking and exploring, bloody amazing, absolutely amazing. Just make sure you have a really good sense of direction. Make sure you know, wow, look at the size of that. Now that is what I call an aspen. Holy crap. That must be a good 2 feet through, 2.5 foot through, and it's still green on the top. That's been there a while. Plenty of water down in here. See, the cows make a route through, see? The cows are a pain. They really are, with all their hoof prints and a bit of wet mud. But I can tell you now, they actually do keep the trails open. Yeah, this is the trail. See the old tread through there? This is the tread up through here. And then in the manual, in the book there, in Gillian's guide, number 4, the purple one, it shows, get over that bloody great log. It shows the crossing up here somewhere. But as you can see, look at it. Oh, this is definitely a Dave trail. These are the kind of trails that I absolutely love doing. Love this stuff. You can keep all the Lululemon, look at me on trendy crap trails. I don't give a crap about any of that. This is a trail. A proper trail. Yeah. This is somewhere you can come and wander around. Explore until your heart's content. Lots of little side channels in here, which is why I think it would be very easy for people to get turned around. You've got to bear in mind that the guides that Gillian and Tony wrote all those years ago were based on how they, oh crap, mind that hole, based on how this looked pre-floods. And I can tell you now, it's completely different now. Yeah. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get across this creek. I can hear lots of fast running water over my side, which means we've got rocks, so that's good. So I may get across the other side here, I may not. My goal was to see how far I can come down here on this side of the creek without crossing the big creek. That was my goal. So that's what I'm doing. It is a complete and utter bushwhack, which is what is the best way to bloody travel. It really is. Yeah. just make sure, like I say, you've got a good sense of direction. I can clearly see the old trail through here, look, clear as a bell. Yeah. I suspect I'm going to go up round the corner here in a mo. Yeah, look at this. Wow. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So if I'm not in for work on Monday, I'm somewhere up in here. Probably lost or fell down a big bloody hole somewhere. Yeah. I think as long as I keep that creek, the big creek on that side, the other side of the creek looks very mossy and very wet. This side of the creek, much drier. So I'm still on the right hand side of the creek. I haven't crossed the creek, the big creek, not once yet. So I'm trying to see if I can keep it that way. I'm just following the cows. I'm kind of hoping the cows know where they're going. I do every now and again leave myself some broken stick markers, but with such a big creek off to that side, I don't really need it. I've just spotted a nice waterfall through the trees. Over there, there's a waterfall over through the trees there. Still got ice on it. Yeah. I don't think you'd need to cross to that side of the creek anytime soon. Yep. So, I'm going to try and stay this side. I can see 1,000 ways I can find my way through this bit of forest. So I'm not marking any of this. I marked the beginnings. I'm not marking any of this. You don't need to. There's plenty of natural markers through here. And what I do every now and again is I'll cut off some of these little end twigs, like on a tree that you can see. Just kick stuff off the trail. Wow, surprised that tree hasn't come down. Yeah. As long as it doesn't choose now to fall down, I will be quite happy. Oh, look at this. Oh, so there's 1,000 little trails along here, courtesy of the cows. Thank you very much. Looks like they didn't clear this big aspen out of here for me though. Buggers, eh? Find a way around that one. Right, I'm going to continue on down there, stop rabbiting for a bit, and just enjoy being out here. This is great. I decided to try and cross the creek. That wasn't so good. Water was very close to the top of my boots. I've got a long way to go, so I don't want wet feet. So I am opting to see if I can stay on the right hand side of the creek. And I found a very nice deer trail. It comes back up the hill. So I'm doing a bit of video, aka stopping and having a rest because I'm knackered. Creek's down the bottom. Normally you can crisscross this creek about 5 or 6 times all the way down. But I can see up through the trees, when I'm down by the creek, there's a trail on this side. It's obviously a deer trail or a cow trail. But I'm going to follow it as long as I can and see what I find. Right, onwards and that way. I think, like I say, no clue where this goes, but it is going in the right direction. Where I need to be. So the river's down there, and I know if you look on the map in Gillian's book, the trail shows down there. But look at this. I've got a perfectly good trail. Look at this. It's also where the cows come. I keep finding blazes in the trees too. Here's another one. I keep finding blazes in the trees. So I'm absolutely convinced other people come this way. Look at it. It's a well-trodden tread. You can't miss this. I might come back this way. I was going to do the complete loop around the mountain, but I might come back this way just to have a closer look and see what it looks like in return. This is why I keep doing the 360s. If you're ever out and about and you're filming something or whatever, always do 360s, because then you can go back through your footage and think, okay, yeah, that's where I came. But look at that, perfectly good trail over there. So I'm going to follow this as far as I can and see where I end up. Well, after some considerable bushwhacking, I still haven't had to cross the creek yet. It's going pretty good so far. I've got a feeling my luck's going to run out, but I'm basically just keeping the creek on my left hand side here and following it along. I'm pretty sure that what I'm on now is part of an old trail, because it just looks like old trail. And the creek, let's go around this way, show you where the creek is. The creek is just there. So I need to go that way. As you can see, the creek is just there. I have no wish to keep crossing this thing because it's actually it's not overly wide, but there are some very deep bits in it, so deeper than my boots. So I'm going to go around. Well, I keep finding blazes, and this is the first bit I've actually found cut logs on that. Wow, this is probably part of the old 57. So that's good. Sun's coming round. I've got about half a day of sunlight left, so I do have my headlamp and everything with me, so whatever. Today takes as long as it takes. So I'm going to head on that way. What happens with trails? You get to this and you can't see nothing. You think, you know, I've got a perfectly good trail back that way. And this is, I think, is the dry creek bed, and then there's the rest of Ware Creek. Look at this. I know, looking through the trees over there, I can see the rest of the trail. So I'm just going to trim off some of this little dead brush on the side here, make it a bit more obvious. And there we are, from a completely overgrown corner. Cannot see where the hell the trail goes. Very easy visible, straight down through there, can't miss it. That's how quickly trails get lost, and that's how quickly they end up breaking. So yeah, one bit at a time. Clearly somebody else has been through here at some stage in the dim and distant past, which is nice. Thank you very much, whoever that was. If everybody does a little bit, I always bring my nippers with me, I always have my saw with me. Find a little bit of deadfall across the trail, just clear it off. You know, the big stuff, you know, the really big heavy stuff, don't touch that, you're going to hurt yourself. Leave that to professionals. But little bits and pieces through trails like this makes it obvious. Cut the ends off. I prefer to leave just cut ends so that people can see them, or if I'm out in the rocks I'll build little cairns and what have you. But I don't like putting up flagging tape. There's a couple of places in here where it really needed it, so I've put up a few bits. But other than that, I'm heading that way. See, back there, that's where I've just come. I just cleared 5 or 6 off the trail back there in a tight spot. So a lot of little steppy over logs in here. I don't clear out all the steppy over ones, but there's another bunch of ones out here that I'm going to clear out. Those 3 in the distance, clear those out a little bit at a time. Every time I walk a trail I clear another bit off. As you can see, this one was cut out of here by somebody a while back. Thank you very much, whoever that was. And if we all do a little bit, keeps the trails nice. Right, I'm going that way. Well, that in front of me is Gleason's Hill. There's a nice walk up the top of there. This is the 58B junction. Over there is 57. I'm going back that way in a minute. I know if I continue on 57, I'm actually not far now, all the way to the far end. So far I haven't crossed the creek once, not once. So doing very well. I know down that way there's a big up and over the hill. So I will do that another day, because I know if once I'm the other side of there, I'm not going to want to come back this way, so I'll end up having to walk back up the road. And if I have a choice between walking 6 kilometers back up a road or 6 kilometers through a very thick dense forest like this, I'll take the forest any day of the week, thanks. Right, so this is the 57B turnoff. Just follow the arrow there, it takes you straight up this valley on the just over through the trees through here. On the original map it shows the trail following up beside the creek, but it actually doesn't anymore. It's so overgrown in there, it's ridiculous. So it looks like everybody's using this trail up through here, and there's a very nice trail that goes off up through the trees straight over there where I'm pointing. Goes off up through that way, and basically you keep this little creek on your left hand side, this little side creek on your left hand side for about 0.8 to a kilometer. You'll come to a Y junction in the creek, basically cross to the middle of the Y, and then you're going to head up the Y. You're going to come up the leg of the Y if you want. You've got a left and right. You're going to go up the middle of those 2 pieces. So once you get up there, that's how you get up there. And I'm going to pick up all my tools, make sure I've left nothing behind. I've just had a very nice sit down and have a rest. This nice little meadow here is very nice. And I say, that way up there is 58B. Over through the trees over that way is 57. Behind me is 57. And I'm going to head back the way I came. Just going to clear out. There was a few bits that I didn't clear out on the way up here, so I'm just going to clear those out on the way back. See if I can make a better route. It's always good if you walk trail twice, once in each direction. I know the main creek is just down through there. I can hear it roaring pretty good, so that's another reason why I'm not continuing, because I know it's just going to get pretty big up by that corner. So that's crossing number 8. I know in the manual it says you have to do all these crossings. I haven't crossed once yet, not once. So the I know behind me there's 6, 7 and 8 to cross. I know from somebody else's video that you can actually avoid 6 and 7, you only have to do 8. So I really don't want to go up there at the moment. I will save that for another day, and I may even come in from the other end on that one. So we shall see. I'm going to head back this way and do some more on the way back. So this is why it's important to clear out the little bits, because it's blatantly obvious to anybody walking down here that this trail's just had some maintenance to it, and just makes it easier. Makes it easier for the next person. There's a big rock off there, I want to trip over that. I cleared out about 10 small trees down here. None of them were bigger than about 6 inches through, and it makes a big difference, I can tell you. Makes it so much easier. And the more people that walk a tread, the better the tread gets flattened in there. So I'm going to head back this way because I took a bit of a weird bushwhack to get up in here. Ooh, what is that? Is that garbage? That's a piece of plastic. That doesn't belong out here. Apologies for the shaky video. That can go in my pocket. And I will put that in the bin when I get home. Doesn't live out here. Right, either way. Yeah, see, somebody cut these out in the past. And it's, I just cut out a few more. These little steppy over ones, I don't bother with those. They're actually good because they actually stop the erosion on some of the banks and what have you. So, yeah. Down through here, cut out a few little diddly ones. This is the old Trail 57. Like I say, I haven't actually crossed a creek yet. Yeah, not one. So I cleared all these out of here. Done. So, doesn't take much. So I'm going to put this away, clear off some of these little tiny bits, and do some more later. Right, that's the way I've just come. I'm clearing out a lot of these branches on these big deadfalls. I'm not going to move those out of the way, they're just too big. There's a lot of blazes on the trees I've noticed, which is very nice. Get to here, creek's down the bottom there. It's flowing pretty good. Look at that down there. That's the other reason why I didn't want to keep crossing it like 8 times. But, so far, touch wood, I'm doing good. There's one tree on the trail down through here. We've got to step over. Ain't going to do nothing with that. That's pretty rot. And from experience, I know you can have trouble with that. Hear how hard that is? Yeah. Got to be careful cutting trees. Like I say, I don't mind cutting small stuff. I cut all these out of here this morning when I come up. There's a whole bunch of these little ones like this all across here. So we cut all those out of there. But a lot of this forest, look at it. It's just a tumble down, which is good. I mean, it's a natural habitat. That's what forests do. So I'm not going to complain about that. I've seen some amazing trees in here. Absolutely amazing trees. Yeah. So I will continue on my way, which is back that way. I'm currently heading this way. This is Trail 57. I'm heading back towards the Ware Creek parking lot. Now I know this trail a little bit better, I will find a better route back, and rather than not quite so much bushwhacking and up and down the bloody hills. So yeah, so I will continue on down this way and hopefully keep my feet dry. You have to stop off along the trail every now and again and just sit and marvel at all this. This is Ware Creek. And, I'm heading back now towards the Ware Creek parking lot and the meadow, and I'm staying to the left of the river, which will be probably the north side. But I haven't had to cross over at all yet, so that's my plan, is to do this whole bit without. But nice creek, eh? There's a couple of bits in there that are deeper than they look, so I should think later in the year, I mean this is heavy runoff season, I should think later in the year you could just walk across this pretty much anywhere you wanted. But as you can see, the forest down through here, the trail comes down into here and just kind of meanders along here. There's some beautiful trees in here. There are some seriously big aspens in here. Yeah. I don't think this is somewhere I'd want to be walking through on a very windy day. Have to have eyes in the back of your head on a windy day, I should think. Look at this. Isn't that nice? What an amazing place. So if you're into hiking and you just want to explore out in the mountains, now I can tell you now, all you Instagrammers out there, there are no stunning Instagram views out here. None, not one. Yeah, there's one bit where you go up over the hill where you can get a bit of a view, and that is it. But if you like walking through forest, just exploring more of a route than a trail. There is a trail. This is 57, as you can see. It clearly goes off down through here, but it's not a trail that's used very often, that is for certain. It's like I say, I've only ever seen 2 videos of this trail, and they both said the same thing. It's completely overgrown and almost impossible to follow. So, which is another reason why I'm in here. Just tidy up a little bit, clear up a little bit of the deadfall where I can, and basically keep it walkable. That's my plan, is to keep 57 walkable, because this is actually a very nice loop. It's what are we, 5, 6, so probably about 12 all the way around. But if you go all the way out the end of this piece, this is actually the old main road, believe it or not. If you go at the end of this piece, you actually end up having to walk back up the road, and I have no wish to walk back up a road. Don't like roads. I'd much rather walk through this, even if I have to clear out bits of deadfall like this one in front of me. I will do just that. Doesn't take me long to move something like that out the way. I will get that cleared out of there and continue on my way. Well, there's always things to find in a forest. Keep finding piles of bones, quite a lot. I don't know what that is. Really small. It's dead now, whatever it is. I keep finding bones. So I'm basically going to cut across this bank. As you can see, I've come up the bank a little bit, away from the creek, and this is actually a lot clearer up through here, believe it or not, to walk through. This is where the cows look like they've come up through here too, so I will follow those guys back. So I've just come that way, halfway back. I think the secret of this trail is just to stay a little high on the left hand side as you come back. I've just come back that way. There's like big open clearings here of aspen. Down in the bottom there, it's all big deadfall like this thing. But I've no wish to keep fighting my way around those things. But the creek is a fair way down, but I can see there's way more big trees down in there. So I'm just going to stay high along here and see if it will actually bring me out in the cut block where the new wall smoke trail is going to go. So let me continue on this way and see what I find. Right, just come that way, come back up the hill. The secret on this side is to stay up. Yeah, on a fairly high up. The river's a long way down there now. There are some cut trees down through that way, which obviously have been cut for a trail. However, and it takes you down to the bottom where it is a complete and utter mess of trees and very, very wet. So what I'm going to do is stay high, side hill all the way across here. That's my way back. There's Gleason's Hill. That's my way back. The trees are beginning to thin out over there on the skyline, so I suspect I'm not too far away from that cut block. And so I'm just going to side hill this. This is way more open, way easier walking, I can tell you. Down in the bottom is quite the mess. But I will stay up here and head back that way. Right, I come out of the forest over that way because I got fed up with walking through the swamp at the bottom. These are the trees, these tall trees here. See, they're cut off about 8 to 10 feet up. These are the ones that Spray Lakes, or whoever they are now, cut off and left as trail markers for the trail across this piece here. So I'm going to follow these back. This is part of the new route for Wall Smoke Mountain, apparently. So I will follow this back. Somebody's put flagging up here already, so it's clearly a route that people are using. But I will cut back across this, follow these posts. Can't go any easier than following this lot. Where I went earlier was down through the forest that way and around that mountain over there, up that valley. That's a very nice valley, I have to admit. There's certainly some more good exploring to be done up in there. But for today, I will head back this way. Yeah, see, somebody's put flagging up in here. I would say probably a year or so ago, because it was originally pink. And no, it's not. But as you can see, there's a very clear trail of short trees that have been cut off. Yeah, I think Spray Lakes did this when they logged it all out. They quite often do if there's trails coming. This is the one that Gillian was referring to. She did tell me that there's no trail up through the cut block, but there are marker trees. So that is good. Yeah, thank you for doing that. Much appreciated. And I will head back down this way. The more people that use it, a trail will appear. Always does. But, like I say, Wall Smoke Mountain is not one that a lot of people do. They should, because it's nice. But I'm going to head back down out of these trees. Well, there's a whole bunch of flagging down there, so clearly they want you to go that way. So I will put this away because it looks flatter down there in that meadow bit, so I will put this away until I get down the bottom. Right, so I'm back down the bottom out of the cut block now, thank goodness. There's a lot of mosquitoes up through there, but there is some flagging up through there, and you can see the cut off trees. So that's rather nice. This is kind of where the cut off trees start. There's plenty of flagging up there. People have put up all kinds up there. Right, and this is back down the bottom. Now down through these trees, down through here is the old Trail 57, which is a little wet, to say the least. This is the big grass area, I think it's referred to on the map. It shows it as a large grass area. So I'm going to get down to the outside of this grass. It's we're not in prime tick season yet, but we ain't far off it. So good idea to stay out there on grass. Right, you can see there's a very clear formed trail across here, and up over there I went this morning. I went that way, and it wouldn't matter, you could just follow the outside of the cut block all the way up and around if you wanted. But if you're going to All Smoke Mountain, you get to this point here, a bunch of aspens, you're just about to run out of the grass meadow, and at the far end of the grass meadow you can see some flagging up there in the trees. There's all kinds of red and pink and all kinds up in there. Just basically follow the cut off tree stumps all the way up through the cut block, and it will bring you out on a cut line that takes you to the bottom of the trail that runs up the ridge to All Smoke. Now down through here, that's the old Trail 57 down through there. That is pretty well overgrown through there, I have to admit. That is pretty rough. But down through here, this is if you look on Google Maps, you'll see this shows it as a large, almost crescent shaped grass patch. That's what I'm walking through at the moment. So down through there, there's a short piece that goes up through here in a minute. It goes down to the river. I don't want to go that way. I'm going to continue down through the grass. This looks like exactly the way all the cows and everything come. And like I say, the more people that use it, the better the trail becomes established. So later in the year, I will head up All Smoke, I think, and do that one. The actual road for 57 is down in the bottom of there, but there's so much deadfall in there, it's just crazy. It's beyond realistic for me to do anything with it anyway. You need a chainsaw in there. So looking back, trail goes that way, just up through the trees over there, roughly centre shot. You'll start to see the ends of the cut off trees. There's a big aspen that's kind of bent right over and like a big bow shaped. Basically if you go under that and just follow them up, it's real easy. I can see it now. I know where it is. It's real easy from here. It's always easy when you know the trail is, eh? So once you get to the end of the big grass bit, which is here, on Google Maps that still shows all that up there as forest, but that was all logged out of there. The aspens have stayed, but everything else has been logged out, which is good. Open it up. A lot of wildflowers up in there. Later in the year that's going to be absolutely covered in wildflowers. Now there's loads of them up in there, it's really nice. So I'm going to stop waffling. Oh, woodpecker. I'm going to stop waffling a bit. This is roughly where I came out this morning, I think. Yes. There's some flagging down through here. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is a better trail. There's some flagging in the trees here. This is a better bit of trail, so I will follow this along. This is much nicer walk when it's out of the grass too. Like I say, we're not into heavy tick season yet, but never a good idea to be out here. I see people hiking in, you know, what I call the Lululemon brigade. They're out there in all their shorts and t-shirts and flip-flops in tick country. Never smart. That's just you get bitten by the wrong tick, that can be life-altering. That's not even funny, that can be life-altering right there. So I will continue down through here, wend my way through the trees here, and head back to the parking lot. So just to recap, just through that little gap there, if you look on Google Maps for this area, you'll see that Trail 57 goes down there, down the hill to the creeks. This is like a little short piece that goes in, and there's a big crescent shaped grass area. You go into that grass area if you're going up All Smoke and turn left. And personally, now I know how bad the bottom end of 57 is. That's the way I would do around 57 as well, because I don't have to do any creek crossings. It's brilliant. just go into the cut block, kind of follow it along, stay high on the bank, stay high on the right side of the bank as you're going along the creek. And there's a couple of very small side creek crossings that you go over. Other than that, absolutely nothing. Easy walk. Yeah, certainly easier than walking through all that crap down there, I can tell you. Now, I cleared out a few along here this morning. This is the original Trail 57. There was a, oh, here we go. There was a large aspen down here. I cleared that off of there. Get rid of that. I don't like cutting this stuff. The same is heavy. Yeah. Wake, rise and shine. Just heard something in the bush. Can't see nothing moving. Wakey, rise and shine. See how thick that is in there for deadfall. I mean, you try finding your way through that lot. Yeah. Yeah, that's not too much fun doing that. But the creek is certainly the best navigation tool up through here. Somebody else has been up through here as well, so I keep seeing other footprints with dog tracks up in here as well. Yeah, we've got some deer, fresh deer tracks along here. And I did see one set of other footprints. There's a guy with a dog by the look of it. Don't know where they went. Hard to follow tracks. See, look, there's a human footprint right there. And that's a human print. Yeah. And there's some more people prints there. And there's another set of tracks going the same way I am. So maybe he came up in here and they went back out. Let's see, there's a track there actually. Yeah. Always a good idea to keep a look at the ground, because then you know what you're sharing the forest with. Whether that be bears, wolves, people, whatever. You know. Always a good idea to know what else is out there. I know that I'm not too far away from getting back into the big cattle meadow. Sorry. Oh, as you can hear, it's a little wet along here. This is why I wore my welly boots. Yeah. I used to live in boots. Oh my god! Every time somebody saw me, I didn't even own any other shoes actually. I just had a pair of Wellington boots. That was it. Yeah. But that's life on the farm, I'm afraid. They used to stay rolled up right by the back door, ready to go. And when I moved over here, I didn't bring them with me. I left them with a friend of mine in England who just happened to be the same size. And to my knowledge, she still wears them. I found them a little while back, and when I found Dawsey, she's still wearing them. So all those years later, those damn good boots they were. But when you're emigrating, you don't really want to be bringing too much stuff with you. Yeah, we got deer in here, we got cows. I found quite a few antlers and that up in here, all chewed up, lots of bones, lots of antlers. This bit sits a bit wet. Look, all this. Yeah, it definitely sits wet. Down in the bottom of that creek down there, the river's flowing really good. I'll see if I can get some better creek shots when I get back down the bottom. Well, this is the far end of Trail 57 pretty much before I get out into the big grassy bit, heading back to the parking lot there. Now, if you're doing 57 is more of a route finding than a trail following. So it's a very nice route. It's actually very interesting down through there. If you want to head down through that way, it's really good. Just down here, there's a sign in the tree here that says 57 on All Smoke. So if you go down there, if you go into All Smoke, you go down there a little way, you'll come to a hill that kind of goes around the corner and descends. If you go into All Smoke, don't descend the hill, just go off on the right hand side and you'll see all the new flagging and the cut off trees that Spray Lakes have put in there. Or what are they called now? I don't know. They sold out, they're not Spray Lakes anymore. I can't remember the new name of the people. But it's don't go down the hill. If you're going down the hill, that'll take you on Trail 57 with a bunch of creek crossings. If you want to do 57 route without the creek crossings and you want to stay on the cut block, when you go down here, turn right, get into the cut block and basically follow the cut block and the trees, and on the corner you'll see a tree that's got two great big orange pieces of tape on it. That was obviously the marker for the corner of the cutting. If you head into the forest that way and basically stay high on that bank all the way along, I've basically followed that bank all the way along to 58B. That's as far as I got today, was 58B. But you can head all the way along there. That's no problem. You don't even have to cross any of the creeks. Absolutely none. I mean, if the water is lower, I would cross the creeks. But it's probably, well, my boots are what, 16 inches, something like that, and yeah, I guess 14, 16 inches, something along those lines. And it was very close to the top of the boots, and I'm sure if there were some holes in there, I would have ended up with a boot full of water, and that's never fun at the beginning of the day. So I think later in the year, when most of the water has run out of the mountains, it'd be very easy just to step across there. You wouldn't even get your feet wet. Yeah. So all smoke and 57 start here, heads on down through that way. I've cleared out a bunch of the deadfall, cleared out loads of deadfall today. I couldn't even tell you how much deadfall I cleared out today. But if you come along here, this will take you back into well, it looks like you're just heading straight out into a cut block. You're not. It's you've got to go around the corner. There's a sign here from the old Spray Lakes. That's the big logs. Yeah. There's a sign here from the old Spray Lakes. If you wanted to fight your way through the deadfall, in the slash, you could just go that way if you wanted. But there's a perfectly good trail here. Takes you to the beginning of All Smoke. Just head up through there. Very easy to follow. The cows have made a bit of a mess of this corner, I'm afraid. But it has been cleared down through there. I've cleared out a whole bunch for you, so that there's not so much to step over down there now. Yeah. And then from here, I'm going to follow this cut block back down that hill over there, round the corner into the meadow, and all the way back to the car. I'll do some more once I get out this cut block. Right, so I'm back into the big meadow that I've got to walk through just to get back to the car. Now, if you're doing All Smoke and 57, you go that way, up through there. This is the campsite that I'm going to call Porta Potty Campsite. As you can see, for a very good reason, there's a porta potty over there. My guess is there's a 5-gallon bucket in there, but I'm not opening it to find out. Yeah. So up through there, that takes you up to All Smoke and 57. It looks like there's a trail down through there as well, but I know that that just goes down to the creek, so I've checked that out. That's probably where they go down and get water for the creek and that there. So all down through here, you can see there's been a lot of activity down in here. Yeah, yeah. Who knows? It's public land use zone. You can pretty much do what you want. There's no restrictions on it as such, as long as you're not being stupid. You have to be a kilometre off the road, which I think we pretty much are about a kilometre off the road here, I think. I don't know. I'd have to measure it on the map when I get home, but I know it's a reasonable walk back to the car through the meadow. My guess is that this is probably the ranchers and that come up through here, because it's a bit of an out the way place, and it's not really what you tend to see for like crazy backcountry camper kind of people. Somebody's been up in here. There's tyre tracks up over through there. I'm not sure what's been up in there. And since the only people that are allowed wheeled vehicles up in here are the ranchers, I suspect this is for them. So, which is good. Yeah, it gets people out and about in the countryside. It's good. Right, now, like I say, up through that gap over there, that's All Smoke and Trail 57. That's where that starts. And I'm going to head back out across this meadow. This is an amazing meadow. Look at this. Isn't this nice? Yeah. And where I'm heading is over that way somewhere. Yeah, so I will head across. There's a good set of tyre tracks basically run right across the middle of this thing. If you can't follow this, you're in trouble. This was the road, like I say, many years ago. This was an exploratory road. Before they built the road the other side of the mountain, this was the main road. Yeah, so I will cut back across here. All you've got to do is follow these tracks. Takes you right back to the road and the parking lot, and I think I'll call that it for today. That sun's pretty much, looking at where it is, it's pretty much high in the sky, so we're probably about midday. So All Smoke is straight on through there where that dead tree is across the trail. Yeah, straight up through there, that's All Smoke. That's the new route. I think they're going to use that one. I think in the new Kananaskis guide, that's going to be the one that they show. That's why I've done some clearing out on there today. Just to show you where that is. That pork pie is brilliant, love that. It's a little wet up in there at the moment. I should think, give it a few weeks, it'll dry right out. Doesn't seem to be much flowing water in there, it's just water that's sitting, and once we've had some decent sunshine on it, it'll evaporate that out of there real fast. And this is all hard packed across here, so I think I will call that it for today. Thank you for coming along and listening to my ramblings wandering through the forest. This is what I like to do on the weekends, and I will catch you on the next one.